That feeling.
Yeah.
You know it, right? You're scrolling through headlines, absorbing the daily news, and it can feel like the dominant story is just things going wrong, humanity creating more problems than solutions. It's kind of overwhelming sometimes.
Oh, definitely. It's understandable to feel that way. The challenges we face, they're big and they're, very visible.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But today, we wanted to offer maybe a different lens, a moment to pause and consider another side of the human story. We're taking a deep dive into this document we found called Good Things Humans Have Done. Think of it as a bit of maybe a mental palate cleanser, a chance to remember that we're also a species capable of incredible innovation and positive change.
Precisely. And look, this isn't about ignoring the problems, not at all. It's more about recognizing and, frankly, appreciating the times when human ingenuity and, importantly, collaboration have led to real, tangible improvements in the world.
Exactly. So our mission for you today is basically to explore this collection, this document, and pull out some key examples of how humans have actually made the world safer, cleaner, healthier, and more just. It's a reminder, I think, of our potential for good. Okay, so let's get into it. Where should we start? What feels like a powerful place to begin?
Well, thinking about immediate impact, direct impact on human lives, I think the advancements in vaccines and antibiotics are a really compelling starting point.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. It's almost, well, it's kind of mind-boggling to think about diseases like smallpox. Used to be a global killer, right?
It's terrifying.
And now it's completely eradicated thanks to vaccination.
It's an incredible achievement.
And polio, measles, their impact has been drastically reduced across the globe.
And what's really insightful there, I think, isn't just the invention itself, the vaccine or the antibiotic. It's the systems, the collaborations that allowed them to be used so widely. The scientific method gave us the tools, sure, but it took global health organizations, dedicated people on the ground, working tirelessly to get these things to communities, overcoming huge logistical challenges, sometimes even cultural barriers. That really says something about our collective will when we focus it.
That's a great point. And it's not just about preventing those, really dramatic diseases either, is it? The development of antibiotics and just broader medical science advancements have massively extended how long we live.
Hugely.
It's easy to forget that just a couple of centuries back, even a minor infection could be, well, deadly.
That's such a profound shift. We often celebrate the big dramatic cures, but the steady, sometimes slow accumulation of knowledge about our bodies, developing treatments for more and more conditions, that's had a monumental impact. On length and quality of life, it reflects this continuous process of asking questions, refining things.
Yeah, absolutely. So building on that, on individual health, our ability to thrive as, bigger groups, societies, that also depends on basic stuff, right? Public health infrastructure, which brings us to clean water and sanitation. Might not sound super exciting,
But
but
its impact. Undeniable. The document rightly called safe drinking water, modern plumbing, waste treatment. It calls them revolutions in public health.
revolutions, yeah.
These aren't just nice to haves, they're foundational. They prevent so much widespread disease.
Absolutely. Just think about it, how many diseases are waterborne. Developing and actually implementing clean water systems, effective sanitation. It fundamentally changed the public health landscape, prevented countless epidemics.
And if you connect that to the bigger picture, having clean water and sanitation, it has knock-on effects, right? Fewer people getting sick means populations could grow, become more stable, and that stability creates the conditions for more social progress, economic development. It's like a bedrock element.
Right, right. Okay, now the document also touches on our relationship with the environment, which, let's be honest, is often a source of worry, isn't it?
It certainly is.
But it offers a balanced view, I thought. Acknowledges the problems, but also points to some positive steps. What stood out to you there?
For me, the Montreal Protocol, the one dealing with ozone-depleting chemicals, that's a really powerful example.
Okay.
It shows that when we're faced with a clear threat, and the science is solid, the global community can actually come together and make effective change. The ozone layer is healing. That's a direct result of countries cooperating.
That's a fantastic point. It's tangible proof it can work. Global problem, collective action, positive result. And then you have other things mentioned, like millions of acres being reforested.
Yeah, and establishing national parks, marine sanctuaries.
It start, like the document says, maybe not perfect, but it shows we are increasingly recognizing the value of nature and committing in some ways to protecting it.
And things like the Endangered Species Act, Okay,
Yeah.
there are always debates and challenges around it, but it has provided vital legal protection for so many species that were right on the brink.
True.
These actions reflect, I think, a growing understanding of how ecosystems are connected, why biodiversity matters.
It's easy to feel swamped by the scale of environmental issues. So yeah, these examples are important reminders. We can make positive changes when we understand the science and decide to act, which kind of leads us nicely into renewable energy, where we're seeing some real momentum now.
Indeed. The growth in wind and solar power, which the document highlights, it's a significant shift. It's not just niche anymore, is it?
No, not at all. You see solar panels everywhere now, on houses, big solar farms. Wind farms are a major part of the grid in many places. The doc even mentions over 29% of electricity in the EU is renewable now.
That's a substantial change in a pretty short time frame, historically speaking.
It really is.
And this move away from fossil fuels, it has potentially huge long-term benefits. Reducing emissions, obviously, but also things like energy security. It's a great example of tech innovation driven by, well, both environmental worries and economic opportunity.
Okay, shifting gears again slightly.
Mm.
The document then moves into human rights and justice, which is, as we know, very much an ongoing journey.
Absolutely. Progress there is often really hard-won. It can feel painfully slow sometimes. But the document makes a crucial point, I think, by highlighting the big advancements that have been made.
Right.
Well, the widespread abolition of slavery, that's a monumental ethical and social transformation, even as we absolutely have to acknowledge the horrible, enduring legacies of that practice.
Definitely. And the expansion of rights for women, for the LGBTQ plus community, more access to education for people who were previously shut out. These aren't just abstract ideas, are they? They mean real improvements in the lives and opportunities for billions. The document says every victory matters, and that really hit home for me here.
It really underscores that social justice isn't a destination, it's a continuous process. Striving for a fairer, more inclusive world, and recognizing the progress, even if it's incremental, can actually give us the momentum and, frankly, the inspiration to keep pushing for the work that still needs doing.
Yeah, well said. It's also incredibly inspiring to see the examples of global collaboration mentioned. Things like international disaster response teams or the near eradication of guinea worm disease. That shows what's possible when different nations actually work together.
These cases really showcase our ability, our capacity to look beyond just national interests and team up on shared humanitarian goals. That fight against guinea worm, it's a remarkable public health success story, came from sustained international partnerships, all focused on one clear goal.
It just reminds you that despite all the divisions we see, there's also this fundamental human capacity for cooperation, especially when we face shared challenges. And, like the document wisely notes, it works.
It does.
Then there's the growing awareness around mental health.
Yeah.
This feels like a really significant shift, especially in recent times.
Oh, it absolutely is. For so much of history, mental health was just hidden.
Oh,
Shrouded in stigma, misunderstanding.
really?
The fact that we're increasingly open about discussing mental well-being now, that more effective therapies are being developed, that supportive communities are growing, that represents a huge step forward in how we care for ourselves and each other.
Definitely. I remember, not that long ago, it was something you just didn't talk about openly. Now there's so much more understanding, less stigma, thankfully, and more people feel okay asking for help.
And that reflects a deeper understanding, doesn't it? That health isn't just physical. Emotional, psychological well-being are just as vital.
And even in that really complex, often fraught area of international relations, the document points to peace building and diplomacy. It acknowledges, look, not all conflicts have ended.
Sadly, no. Conflict is still a persistent, terrible challenge. However, the fact that peace treaties exist, that diplomatic negotiations happen, that international coalitions sometimes do prevent or resolve conflicts, these are important reminders that we do have ways to seek peaceful resolution.
Right.
These efforts, they might not get the headlines as much as the fighting, but they play a crucial role in, trying to limit suffering.
It's a reminder that even when things look bleak, there are always people, organizations, working towards peaceful solutions. Okay, finally, the document touches on something that really drives so much positive change. Science, education, and just.
Yeah.
That basic sense of wonder.
Yes. This is where our innate curiosity, our desire to understand the world, really shines through, isn't it?
Totally.
Achievements like mapping the human genome or landing on the moon, creating the internet. They weren't just driven by immediate practical needs. There was a fundamental human desire there to explore, to discover, to connect.
Oh, this is where it gets really interesting for me. Yeah, it wasn't just about power or profit initially, was it? It was fueled by deep curiosity, wanting to push the boundaries of what we know, what's possible.
Exactly. And of course, these huge leaps in fundamental knowledge then have countless practical applications down the line. They lead to more innovations that benefit society in really profound ways. That spirit of inquiry, it's such a powerful engine for progress.
And it's that same spirit, isn't it, that underpins so much of the positive change we've already talked about.
Mm.
Now, the document also includes this really fascinating chronological list of good things going way, way back. What jumped out at you there?
Well, starting with the agricultural revolution around 10,000 BCE, that provides such crucial context. That shift from being nomadic hunter-gatherers to settled farming, it was a fundamental turning point.
Absolutely. Suddenly you have more stable food, populations can grow, people settle down. It's the foundation of civilization as we know it, really.
And then fast forward thousands of years to around 2600 BCE, the Indus Valley civilization. They had these incredibly sophisticated early sewage systems.
Amazing.
For that long ago, it shows a really early grasp of the link between sanitation and health.
Talk about being ahead of the curve. That kind of infrastructure must have been vital for those early cities. Then, jumping ahead again, we get Hippocrates in ancient Greece, around 450 BCE. He really shifted medicine towards observation, rational explanation.
Yeah, less superstition. Hippocrates emphasized observing symptoms, looking for natural causes. That laid the groundwork for the scientific approach to medicine we still use, moving away from just mystical explanations towards, empirical understanding.
And the Library of Alexandria, around 300 BCE. Just this incredible attempt to gather and save knowledge from all over the ancient world.
It symbolized such a commitment to learning, didn't it? Preserving intellectual heritage, creating a space for scholarship, exchanging ideas.
I was also really struck by the example of Ashoka's reign in India, maybe 250 BCE, promoting nonviolence, animal welfare, even public health stuff as part of ethical rule.
Ashoka's reign is a fascinating early example of a leader trying to consciously weave ethics into governing, prioritizing well-being for humans and animals.
And then the Romans. Can't forget them. Their aqueducts, public baths, around 50 BCE or so. Massive engineering projects, all about improving urban health and hygiene.
Yeah, the Roman Empire's investment in public infrastructure, especially clean water and sanitation, it really transformed city life and public health back then.
Okay, jumping way ahead now.
Okay.
The Islamic Golden Age, roughly 700 to 1200 CE. The document highlights big advances in medicine, maths, public health, including free public hospitals.
Yes, the Bimaristans. This period saw this incredible flourishing of intellectual activity across the Islamic world. Huge contributions in science, medicine, and these free hospitals where anyone could get care, regardless of status or ability to pay. That was remarkably progressive for the time.
It's amazing seeing these threads pop up in different places, different times.
Right.
Then maybe around 1450, the printing press. Gutenberg.
Yeah.
That was truly revolutionary, wasn't it?
Oh, completely. It just blew the doors open on access to information, accelerated the spread of knowledge, ideas across Europe and beyond. Think about how it fueled things like the Reformation, the scientific revolution. New ideas could spread and be debated so much faster.
And sticking with knowledge, but in medicine. The document mentions Vesalius in the 16th century, fixing our understanding of anatomy.
Right, based on actual human dissection, correcting centuries of mistakes. Huge for surgery.
And then Leeuwenhoek, 17th century, seeing microorganisms for the first time with his microscopes.
Which opened up a whole new world, eventually leading us to germ theory, completely changing how we understood infection.
And speaking of infection, the story of Ignaz Semmelweis, mid-19th century, pushing for hand washing in hospitals. Such a simple thing, but what an impact on stopping deadly infections.
It's a powerful reminder, isn't it? Simple, evidence-based ideas can have profound effects, even if they face resistance at first.
And you can't talk about this without mentioning Jenner, late 18th century, the first vaccine, smallpox, a pivotal moment.
Absolutely. Jenner's work didn't just lead to wiping out smallpox, it paved the way for all the other vaccines that have saved countless millions, probably billions, of lives.
Then there's John Snow, mid-19th century London, mapping the cholera outbreak. So important for figuring out how diseases spread, leading to public health reforms.
Snow's work was pioneering epidemiology. showed the importance of looking at environmental factors, led to crucial changes in sanitation, water management.
Okay, moving faster now into the 20th, 21st centuries. We see things like workplace safety laws starting to come in. Big improvements in working conditions, worker
The
protections,
discovery of penicillin by Fleming,
revolutionized medicines. Finally, a way to treat bacterial infections effectively,
Rachel Carson's Silent Spring, igniting the environmental movement.
leading to regulations on harmful chemicals like DDT, the Montreal Protocol we mentioned, the Endangered Species Act, and then much more recently, the rapid development of mRNA vaccines for COVID.
Yeah, these more recent examples just show the continuation, right? Ongoing efforts to improve work, fight disease, protect the environment, respond to global health crises using science and social change.
And finally, the document points to things happening right now, like rewilding projects, ecological restoration.
Like the Yellowstone wolves, European beavers, coral reef restoration.
Yeah, that stuff, offering a kind of hopeful vision for our relationship with nature going forward.
Exactly. These projects show, I think, a growing awareness of ecological balance and a more proactive commitment to restoring and preserving biodiversity for the future.
So, okay, after taking this journey through really just some of the good things humans have done, the overall message feels pretty clear. Despite the very real, very serious challenges we face, our species has this remarkable history, this capacity for positive action and innovation.
It's such a vital perspective to hold on to. Yes, it's crucial to face the problems, but it's equally important to recognize our history of solving problems, the significant progress we have made in so many areas.
And you, listening right now, you are part of this story. You're part of a species that has shown itself capable of, what did the document say? Great care, of deep imagination, of self-correction.
Every act of kindness you show, every problem you try to tackle, however small, every bit of knowledge you seek out or share, it adds to this ongoing legacy, this legacy of positive human impact.
So maybe the next time you find yourself feeling, overwhelmed by all the negative narratives out there, try to remember this deep dive. Remember the lives saved, the diseases beaten back, the environments protected, the rights won. You're allowed to be proud of that.